Hey everyone, Scott Weaver with Air Gunner Reviews. So I just received this from the post office. It's from BinTac, and this is the new AEA Defender 2.0, and I have not opened it up yet. It was supposed to be all black, but I've got a feeling that they switched it to the bus yellow, the safety yellow. But we're going to see, because I haven't even opened it up yet, and I want to do a full review on this. And we're going to compare it to my other AEA Defender just to see what this little guy looks like. Well, right off the bat, the box is totally different from the first box. Let me go get that. So this is what the original AEA Defender box looked like. I've got it filled up with all my parts. And now this is what the new one looks like. And let's open it up and see what we have. Oh, that's new also. Interesting. Well, interesting enough, it wasn't even quite what I ordered. Huh. Wow. This is nothing like what I thought I was going to be seeing here. Huh. Hopefully this comes off and it can be reduced or something. Yeah, I think that does come off. Well, so it comes with these two adapters. Disperse. Plus another 100 disperse. And this is the filler for these. And look at the size of those. I'm going to compare that. If I can get these out of here. Oh, comes with 4 of these. These are much bigger. It's like Christmas. All right, so that's what these guys look like. Make sure you can see everything and the gun. Hugely long in this format. Now let's look at the barrels. That's cool how they have a step down like that. And they say they're rifled. They are. They have a slight rifling. Not quite what I was expecting. I would say it's more like a slug liner, I guess. It's hard to say. It does have a twist in there. So yeah, it definitely made a lot different. We're going to get out my my AEA Defender, and we're going to take a look at that. So neatly packaged anyway. Let's go take a look at the other Defender. So here's what this Defender looks like. Let's take these out. Let's compare the barrels. So the barrels are much longer. Look at that. Huge difference in barrel length. That should give you a little bit more accuracy and a little bit more power. Now that's interesting. And don't care for this big bazooka. Okay, so here's where I'm a little confused about this, because that's what I thought I purchased, except in black, which it was supposed to have been. But this is what I've got, like that. And that is even using my shorter cylinders. So you can see where that, sticks way out. Almost kind of looks like I'm using one of those arrows or something, but you can probably see that like that. And like I say, I've got my shorter one on. If you take that off and you put the longer one on, oh, where'd my picture go? It's that much longer. So with that, that's about 9.5 inches, like that. There's a big difference when you look at this one. Also, really plasticky feeling, very cheap feeling, very toyish. Lack of words. This one definitely feels much better, much more rugged. Looks more like an actual pistol. This really doesn't feel like it. Of course, the yellow doesn't help either. Anyway, my first impressions are very so-so with it. Also, it's kind of sticks. I don't know what's sticking here, but it doesn't open up smooth. That's for darn sure. It's like it catches there. So, yeah, I don't know. There we go. So, I mean, I'm just trying to figure these things out right now. I'm not even getting to the shooting part yet. Okay, here we go. AEA Defender. Brand new, longer barrels, 81 grain JSB pellets. The cylinders are filled up to 4,500 PSI. Going through the cranny, and over here you'll see the cardboard that's set up right here with, of course, several boards underneath it. We're aiming for that target. I have no idea how loud this thing's going to be. We're going to see what happens. Whoa. 449 feet per second. And let's see, it's about 3 inches from the target, which isn't too bad. Number 2. Nothing. Huh. Well, interesting enough, the first shot pierced both of these. That's interesting. Huh. So that's got a pierce in it. So we only get one shot out of that. 449 feet per second is pretty darn fast, though. Okay, so those. That's it. It's too bad. All right, here comes another test to see if we can get these two barrels to fire. Fire in the hole. Okay, it did. One fire. That one fired. This one, same old scenario. I got a pinhole in it. You can see that. So obviously this one's not going to shoot. Seems to be a problem with this this gun. So I'm going to go back and fill them up again. We're going to try again. Okay, here we go again. I can't even tell you how many tests this is. I've tried different, I tried like 4,500 PSI. I've walked it back down to 4,200 PSI. I've tried everything to get this thing to shoot, 2 barrels. But right now all I want to do, you press the trigger once, it shoots one pellet off if it even gets that far, and then it kind of pokes a hole simultaneously into the next cylinder, and all you get is air coming out. Let's see what happens here. Okay, you probably heard that. All I got is a little noise out of it. And just a little hole. Try the next one. Okay, so there you go. Just like most of the time, I either get one shot and it pierces the other one. I don't know. Very frustrating. I don't think I'm going to try anymore tonight. Even opening this gun up sometimes is hard. It just gets stuck. So I guess I can get a hold of BinTac, and I don't know. I'm not too sure what to do, because now I've got cylinders that are leaking, which I'll show shortly. Yeah, not good. So I want to go over my final thoughts on this AEA Defender 2.0. This is basically what I thought I was purchasing, only in black. At the time when they first came out, they were promising all black. Another one was black here, and then the yellow here. They had all these different combinations, but I only wanted a solid black, and I also wanted it to have a short barrel that did not expand past this shroud here. That is not what I received. What I received was this big honking thing, which this does come off of it, and then you have your two barrels, but no shorter barrels. That's basically what I've got. So put that aside for a second. This feels like plastic, and it just feels like a cheap plastic. The whole gun feels cheap. It's kind of rough. It doesn't have that nice polymer fine finish that this has. If this is a polymer, it's a very cheap polymer. It feels really, honestly, feels more like plastic. The way it opens up, the hinges and everything. I mean, it's even a little harder to open up. It closes kind of funky, and see, it kind of gets stuck here, and you got to pull it apart. The tolerances aren't good on it. Even the cheesy little plastic little things, it's a toy. If in no other way I'm going to put it, this thing, it looks and feels like a toy. It doesn't feel like this one at all. The barrels are kind of nice here. They're nice and long barrels, which are great. Put it down so you can kind of see it. They got that nice little taper to it. They do fit into the pistol fairly well. They seem to be accurate, but here's the problem. I shoot them, and one fires, and then the other one just hisses out. And I'm only pulling the trigger once, and this one's firing, and this one's just hissing out. It happens time again. It seems that there's some type of a bounce when you're doing it. Like, these are bouncing, and when they're bouncing back and hitting the firing pin. Sometimes I've even had them both fire at one time. I pulled the trigger once, and both of them came out. Very unpredictable on what it's going to do, but basically you're going to get one that's going to fire and one that is not going to fire. I've been working on this thing since I got it yesterday, but everything on it, like these little guys right here, these are really cheap, plasticky. It doesn't feel like these. Just these, this has a nice smooth opening and closing to it. These feel, like there's a good tolerance to it. This is just cheesy. Just really cheesy. Then the other thing is I only have two of these cylinders that actually hold air. The other two don't. So what happens to them when you fill them up, they're not leaking out of this end. They're leaking out of that end. As a matter of fact, I was filling up one, and I kept on hearing this rattle. Well, this was down like this. I had just filled it up, and it's rattling on the table because it's losing so much air so quickly. So two of these aren't working. Two are working, but I don't know about long term. I've only owned it for a day now. My advice: stay away from this thing. I'd say stay the hell away from this gun right now. Now I know you're going to get these YouTubers that are going to suck some, donkey butt because they got a free one, so they have to say what they have to say about it. Right now, I'm disgusted with it. I think it's a cheap Chinese made thing, and this is what gives China a bad name: is crap like this. Stay away from it. As far as I'm concerned, it's junk. That's all I have for today. Total disgust. I'll catch you next time. Thank you for listening.